2 weeks after Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, millions of Americans are still suffering. And while relief efforts are underway, this is a humanitarian crisis that isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
With only 5% of electricity restored so far, the 3.4 million U.S. citizens who live here are suffering in unbearable heat without basic supplies. Much of the water undrinkable, police guarding lines for gas that are hours long.
This entire island could be without electricity for 6 months, which means no air conditioning, no hospitals, no food storage, and worst of all, no finding out how the dad died on This Is Us. As for the federal government's response, Trump is a businessman. Disaster relief is almost like a business. It's all about logistics, organisation and efficiency. Well, San Juan Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz found out the hard way what happens when you try to run this country like a business.
She told us FEMA asked her to write a memo requesting what she needed.
I don't have freaking energy to write a memo.
Or the time.
I'm out there saving lives, so we need to get her together.
A memo! Puerto Rico is hit by 2 massive hurricanes and FEMA wants a memo! What FEMA really needs is a to-do list. To do f***ing everything. Trump's first reaction was to explain why the disaster was all Puerto Rico's fault.
Puerto Rico, which was already suffering from broken infrastructure and massive debt, is in deep trouble. Billions of dollars owed to Wall Street and the banks, which sadly must be dealt with. Food, water, and medical are top priorities and doing well. Hashtag FEMA.
You can't just write hashtag FEMA and expect everything to be fixed. You have to actually do something, Trump. If you want to make actual change, why don't you try hashtag pray for FEMA? See, now you've got the ball rolling. Then the acting Secretary of Homeland Security insisted that everything was going great.
It is really a good news story in terms of our ability to reach people and the limited number of deaths that have taken place in such a devastating hurricane.
You agree with her assessment that this is a good news story?
Of course not.
Of course it's not a good news story. A good news story would be confused dog tries stairs for the first time. That's way funnier than someone dying. Although that dog did die. On Friday, Mayor Cruz made one more desperate plea to the leader of the free world.
If we don't get the food and the water into people's hands, what we are going to see is something close to a genocide.
The president hasn't forgotten about you. In fact, today he touched down in Puerto Rico and gave an inspiring speech.
Now, I hate to tell you, Puerto Rico, but you've thrown our budget a little out of whack because we've spent a lot of money on Puerto Rico.
Isn't the first rule of budgeting that you put money aside for a rainy day? There hasn't been a rainier day. And throwing the budget out of whack? That's like going to a funeral and saying in the eulogy, well, this has ruined me Sunday. I got grave mud on me shoes. Thanks, Grandad. But in Trump's defence, he did take precious time out of his golf tournament this weekend for this.
Puerto Rico and the people of Florida who have really suffered over this last short period of time with the hurricanes, I want to just remember them, and we're going to dedicate this trophy to all of those people that went through so much that we love, a part of our great state, really a part of our great nation.
Woohoo! A trophy! They could use that to scoop the sewage out of their hospitals. But no, Trump just dedicated the trophy. They didn't actually get the trophy. So if you want to help out Puerto Rico just how the president did, dedicate a cup from your own home. And if you still feel like that's not enough, you could actually send some money. Go to HispanicFederation.org to donate or learn more.